was caught up unto God and to his throne. Let's read through this without the interpretation. And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. So when you first look at this, you see the birth of the Messiah, who was born on earth and then caught up to the throne of God. And then you also have a dual meaning hidden behind this verse. If you tear apart the two different meanings of child being used, two different meanings of the word child in this verse, and the part there of ruling, they're nourishing and feeding the flock, serving the body, and it's just in depth, folks. Tear the words apart on that in the Strongs, because you'll see the dual meanings here. Not just talking about Yahushua being caught up to the throne of God, but you will see that his offspring, part of this woman's offspring, being caught up to the throne of God. And of course, caught up, meaning to be seized, to be snatched unto God. And of God not just being a singular Yahweh, but including Yahweh, Yahushua, the elders of heaven, and to his throne. And so in verse 5, you're going to see this particular offspring, this man-child's offspring of the woman, the bride, being caught up to heaven and to the throne of God. And so what happens after this when this group is caught up to the throne? I've talked about the redemption, the rapture of the second group of 144,000, the first group actually, depends how you look at it. There's one group mentioned in Revelation chapter 7, one mentioned in chapter 14. This group in chapter 14 is the one that is caught up to God and his throne. And when she is caught up to God and his throne, you look in verse 6 of Revelation chapter 12, the rest of the woman flees into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of God, and they should feed her 1,260 days. And so the bride will flee into the wilderness, where they will be protected by God. This is not including, this doesn't even mention the 144,000, because either group, the first or second group of 144,000, they're not hidden anywhere. They're in the front lines all through the Great Tribulation period. They're not hiding and being protected anywhere. But the rest of the bride is. You have a chunk of the bride, the first group of 144,000 of Revelation chapter 14, which is caught up to the throne and then sent back to earth, and I'll show you here in chapter 12 what they're going to be doing. Sent back to earth. Then you have the second group sealed here on earth, the second group of 144,000, the ones coming from all 12,000 from each 12 of the tribes of Israel. Then you have the woman, the part of the woman's offspring that flees into the wilderness for protection, and they are protected. And then you're going to see where the other groups, the other remnant of her seed, of this bride, this woman, is the ones Satan comes after to persecute. The ones who don't flee, the ones who aren't part of either one of the groups of 144,000, these are the ones that Satan is going to come after to destroy and kill. And then you've got the persecution of the saints, as talked about in Revelation chapter 13. But let's go to verse 7 of Revelation chapter 12. And there was war in heaven, Michael and his angels. Michael the archangel is in charge of other warrior angels. He has a whole warrior class there, and he's an archangel who's in charge of them. So Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. The dragon being Satan, and he has his own angels. We refer to them as aliens, fallen angels, aliens, same kind of terminology. So you have a fight, a war in the heavens between Michael and his warrior angels, and against Satan and his aliens, his angels. And there's a war in heaven. But Satan loses in verse 8. The dragon prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil, and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So at this point, you have one group of 144,000 redeemed caught up at the throne of God. You have 144,000 sealed here on earth. You have the woman fleeing into the wilderness for protection, which reminds you of the passage of Daniel, where it talks of the Jews in Israel running to Petra for safety during the Great Tribulation period. And now you've got an alien invasion here on earth at this point, because Satan is cast out onto earth with all his angels. His angels are cast out with him, which means all these aliens in space today are cast onto the earth. They're cast on the earth. They can't leave the earth. They're going to be here on earth with Satan. And just a little mass over another alien invasion. Every time I turn around, it's another alien invasion here on earth. And they're all over the Bible. Once you know what to look for, you just see it everywhere. Because Satan and his angels are these aliens. These alien beings in our skies. In chapter 12, and I heard a loud voice in heaven saying, Now is come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our God, and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused the men before our God day and night. Who is proclaiming this? It can't be an angel, because angels are not our brethren, but a different class of holy ones in heaven. I believe it's those caught up in verse 5, the offspring of the bride, the first group of 144,000, and the first group being the one mentioned in Revelation chapter 14. They are the ones looking down on earth and proclaiming this, because they're talking about their brethren. And their brethren are here on earth, while this group is in heaven. In chapter 11, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, or verse 11, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death. This is referring to the believers on earth, who Satan then goes to persecute. Satan and his angels are cast down onto earth, and now Satan is coming after the remnant of the bride, what's left of her seed, her residue that's on earth. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. According to both prophets Daniel and John, he will have 3.5 years to rule on earth. And he doesn't rule, he just destroys. And the Lord's wrath is also during that time. Revelation 12:13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman, bride, which brought forth the man-child. This refers to Yahushua. It should end at man, because the word child was added in by translators. So it should stop there. He persecuted the woman, which brought forth the man. He comes after Israel and the church, the bride, because they are the ones who had brought forth Yahushua through them. In chapter 14, and to the woman, this bride, the Lord's bride here on earth, were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place where she is nourished for a time, and times, and half a time, from the face of the serpent. And so this is referring to the bride that runs into the wilderness to be protected. The term eagle here, used by Strong's, indicates not the literal bird itself, but an insignia of a military army. The eagle represents an army, and the phrase itself suggests that an army is used to transport this woman into the wilderness. She is given 2 wings of a great eagle. She is transported into the wilderness by an army. And this is during the second half of the tribulation period. The bride that flees is protected by Yahweh in the wilderness. And this aligns with what the Lord had shown me about the redeemed group of 144,000, the ones who are caught up, is that they return. They will not stay in heaven, but they return. And I talked about this last week, and you can look in Revelation chapter 14 about this second group. They are gladiators, they are warriors, they are